Gosh, I'm frustrated, man, and I come to you guys with a level of frustration. Okay, so hey guys, a little impromptu SUP talk here at Kahului Harbor with these guys. And initially I wanted to see Connor because, gosh, I'm frustrated, man, and I come to you guys with a level of frustration. Number one, last Friday I'm sitting at the Paddle Expo and we're getting a letter from the ISA giving us a 6-week notice for an El Salvador SUP World Championship. In the meanwhile, people are going to this ICF event that I'm trying to make sense of it, and then we have the APP together with the ISA kind of doing their thing together, and now we have this ICF kind of disrupting things. I don't know if I should cope, how I do cope with it. Am I frustrated? Am I happy about it? Yeah, what do you guys think, man?
I mean,
what do you really think?
There's 2 points. I mean, one, it's a good frustration if you think about it. At least there's 2 big federations after our sport and there's interest in it. But then for the athletes, for the investors, everybody involved with our sport, it is frustrating. They've been in this arbitration now for over a year, and at the end of the day, this has jeopardized our chance to making it to the Olympics. Who knows, if this arbitration never happened, ISA could have possibly got us in with the Japan and surfing. And the fact is, it's frustrating. It's not necessarily fair. ISA has put in the work. ICF does have the foundation and the money, and apparently have put in some events, you know, so both have good arguing points. But at the end of the day, you know, the paddlers are taking the cost, and we're getting
so let me ask you this, and this is something that really came off to me. It's like, it's a little bit of the loyalty question. Should we be loyal to the ISA and kind of, or does it even matter anymore? I see Chris guys, they're going over there to commentate the whole thing.
You know, I think it's a good question, Mike, because
do we want to be canoe paddlers?
You know, this fight's been going on since Scharbeutz, I believe, when we were out there in Germany.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're fighting over power of the sport. So like Connor says, it's good in many ways, but we got to collaborate together. And I think the ISA and the ICF, they got to either, you know, shake hands and work together, or agree upon something. And I think the riders are leaning more towards ISA at the end of the day, and we want to hold our commitment and be loyal to the ISA because they're core surf, right? And they have kind of worked towards getting surfing into the Olympics really hard, and so I personally am trying to hold my commitment and be loyal to the ISA, and as well the APP, former stand-up world tour,
which we've been doing for how long
over
now?
a decade. And so in many ways I believe we do have to stay loyal, because we've seen what happened when riders try to boycott an event. It's happened so many times with the former stand-up world tour, and it doesn't play out to be a good thing. It just creates butting heads. It creates a slow process of success.
Slow process.
And right now we need fast track. We need the fast track, and we got to work together. It's the only way to make it happen.
It's a good point. It's just like, it always, to me, I don't know, I always see like, and as soon as there's money on the table, then everybody's kind of gotta make money. There's not a whole lot of money in SUP, and I mean, nowadays, anybody with money and an interest could, I mean, next year I could declare the Stand Up Magazine World Championship. If I won the lottery, I could put $1 million on the table and say this, and this. There's nobody. I mean, what does a world title even mean these days? It's like, if you feel like this is all so diluted, and there's no end in sight. I don't know.
It has been diluted for sure with X amount of world titles, this championship, that championship, and it's hard to see, but at the end of the day, ISA has put in the work. It is frustrating this year with their late release of the dates. They're giving us 2 months to prepare, get the teams ready to, you know, figure out what we're going to be doing. And, you know, a lot of that could be because of ICF's fault of this whole arbitration and court case of delaying their process.
I believe so.
And then on top of it, you know, their push towards the Japan Olympics, you know, they have a lot on their plate. But it's no excuse, you know, at the end of the day, they've already ran X amount of longboarding events in Biarritz, which they could have had us there. You know, there's X amount of lay days that they could have had us there. There's been how many events, you know, if they want us to be with the surfing And along them, why weren't we in Japan this last event for that event? You know, why weren't
That's a
we
big
there?
point. There has been
That is a very good point. I never thought of that.
There's been full-on discrimination.
Why not just combine the two things instead of always doing it separate?
And it makes more sense too, because there is those lay days that the surfers aren't surfing, and those are the days we can go race, we can go surf, we can, you know, go out there.
At the end of the day,
and
that's
fill
why
those days.
a waterman
That's
is,
a very
right?
good- that's a very good
Adapting with the
point.
conditions. You know, a great day for surfing may not be a great day for stand-up, and vice versa. And so I think that's a great point, Connor. I've noted it many times because I myself in the past have considered following the championship for longboard. You know, in the ISA. And if they were working together, I may very well have been able to represent Hawaii and the USA, not only for the sport of SUP, but for longboard, if there was collaboration. And that together can, you know, when industries collide, they could grow, they could feed off one another.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have two different, you know, viewers coming together to view one big event. You know, you got the stand-up people that might necessarily not like watch the longboarding, and vice versa. The longboarders might not have watched the event in China for SUP,
and it
but
saves
if they're
money
all
too.
there,
why waste the money setting up 2 different venues, 2 different crews? You know, wasting money for the athletes even. You know, but at the end of the day, I think us athletes just want to feel valued.
Yes.
You know, we wanna have a role. Not only do we need to feel the obligations and commitments that we have to hold, but we'd like to also feel that the tour and the people behind our industry holds a commitment to us athletes. And I think that's something that's been lacking over the years, and you know, I don't blame it. There's growing pains and everything. You know, but it's about time that we kind of pull together.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, has anybody ever brought this thing up to the ISA? Why not collaborate, or not collaborate, but bring those two together?
Little bit, nothing like serious. Like, we've only had one serious sit down, and that was in Denmark a few years ago, where we're like, hey, this is what we want, this is what we haven't liked. And you know, they did make some changes, and they did you know, push for that, you know, and some of the concerns, you know, they've made changes. But as far as that, I don't think it's been voiced enough. I know I've talked to Casper a bit about it, but it's something that we athletes, you know, I've been trying for the longest time to get all the athletes together and on the same page, but at the end of the day, it's like someone pops up over here with a little cookie bag, and you know, we go running towards that.
Maybe you can tell Casper hello when you see him in San Francisco, because I'd sure love to know what his role is nowadays in this whole ICA vice presidential kind of thing.
Wait,
I mean, it's ISA. See, I'm already confused.
See, I was gonna say what
ICA.
The ICA. Yeah.
Connor, Casper jumped ships. You heard it from.
You heard it here first.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it is. And now, so back to the China thing real quick. We have the canoe people coming out of the woodworks. There is prize money on the table.
Correct. Which is a big, you know, up you to ISA. They're not only putting prize money on it, it's $50 to enter versus $200 per division. And it's funny too, talking to some of the canoe paddlers from the Pan Ams. They're pretty bummed because an ICF event has never put prize money on a world championship.
But
never.
That's what I was going to say.
Which is kind of suspicious on one hand.
They're going to take it away once people jump over.
Exactly.
You know, this is like a car dealership incentive. You know, it's like,
it's like a timeshare.
Come on in, and then as soon as people commit to it, they're going to probably level out that prize money.
Well, and everybody can. I could go there and represent Switzerland if I wanted to. I can fly there tomorrow and start practicing.
And so don't get me wrong. It's a great opportunity for athletes to find find a window of you know, a career in a sport they love.
And it's another race. It's another opportunity to make money. That's what.
But
what
this
we need,
is the thing, though. The ICF is so much more set with the foundation,
well, they've been
with
around
the network.
For centuries.
They have a huge network.
You can't compete with that.
Right? You can't. And so at the end of the day, there's a part of me that wants to say, you know, maybe for the longevity of our sport, we go jump with these guys, but it's not, because at the end, at the foundation of every great association business is a mission statement. And we have to stay true to our roots. And I think the ISA is so much more in alignment with the values of a waterman and the values of the ocean.
But they gotta buck up, man. They gotta buck up over there.
They gotta step up their game.
They gotta buck up.
Now they got the ICF really hunting them down. But at the end of the day, you got to think about this. the ICF has X amount of allotted position for gold medals, bronze medals, silver medals.
Yeah.
In order to put us in there, they
gonna
have to
take
take
away
away
from another sport.
from the sport that's already in there, whether
Yeah.
it's canoeing or this or that.
It's gonna cause disruption.
And it's going to cause, that's like between whatever sport we take it from, and that's a big if, they're not going to
Yeah.
like us, then we're in the same federation, we're in the same
That's
house.
a good point. There might be canoe
you know,
people that don't even,
it
they
can-
feel like, well, what the heck is
takes
this
away
now?
the
Why do we
annual
need that?
budget as well. You know,
Yes.
there's certain
Yeah.
X amount of money they allot to every club and every sport of
Yes.
each club. And so,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
they'll get a big grant. I mean, ICF will get a big grant if we get to them, and if, say it's
From who?
$10 from the IOC, the International
Oh, yeah, of
Olympic
course, yeah,
Committee.
so they're gonna get that money
And the
there.
bad part about that is, if they get, say, I don't know the number, 20 grand, whatever it is, they can give us a penny, and they can put that, 19,000 towards their other sports.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they get 20, they have to put that into the,
It's
that
all in the
exact
money.
sport. So it comes back to, the money.
It's all in the money.
you know, it'd be nice though if the ISA and the ICF could just stop, trying to show
Yeah.
who's the boss.
Gun
And
show.
they actually just collaborate their network, because
Well, there's
that could be a huge opportunity for growth.
100%.
If they merge in one way or another, it doesn't have to be entirely merged.
Yeah.
Just merge the paddleboard and sub part of it,
Yeah.
or merge the entire ISA together,
Yeah.
and start
Well, I
separating
think they
the
do
sports
something
and events.
similar to like with the Dragon Boat, I believe. It's like the ICF and like the Dragon Boat committee, they work together. Like their federation of the Dragon Boat is under them, even
Yeah.
though it's a different federation and different association. It's still under the umbrella of the ICF,
Yeah.
but it's ran by a different committee, I don't know exactly how it works,
Yeah,
so
so
who knows, that could
Is
be an
there a
option.
leading body of ocean crafts above, say, the ICF or the ISA?
not necessarily, no.
That's involved in the Olympics
that
or
one-
involved in the America's Cup per se. I mean, sailing's been
Sailing
around
would be the
hell of a lot more.
Yeah,
And
sailing would be the
therefore ocean.
closest.
Like, is there an umbrella that both the ICF and ISA could fall under?
No, I
No,
don't think so.
no,
I don't know.
it's a gun show.
But
They
if
wanna-
you think about it, canoeing is like, if there is river raft, there's whitewater canoeing. OC1 is also a
Part of
canoe
it.
sport,
Yep.
which is entirely different from, going down whitewater and
Yep.
waterfalls.
Yep.
Then you have all the six mans, and then you said Dragon Boat
Dragon Boat.
is a different association.
But it's under the ICF umbrella,
Okay.
I believe. Something like that. Don't mark my
Interesting.
words, but
And we must not forget, like I come back from Germany just now,
from the show.
and from that paddle expo, and the canoe industry is huge.
Huge.
I think the canoe industry and the canoe sport is most likely bigger than the surf industry and all waterman sports combined.
So what do you
It's
think?
huge.
Personally, Mike, I
That's
mean,
the
of course,
thing.
there's a sour taste with ISA from
Yeah.
our past relationship, but what do you see as the future working with ICF? You think there's positive sides of that? Because of course they got this huge network and foundation, and
I mean, that's the biggest thing we would get out of it. Not to butt in,
Well-
but that's the biggest thing. We'd get their network. They would implement and have to implement. Okay, they have canoe clubs around the world that have been around for centuries, and they would have to implement. Okay, we
Yeah.
have to send 30 boards. That might revive our market. That might be getting
and
juniors and, kids into
I
it.
hate to say
That's
it,
true.
but
You
I'm
see
not
that in Germany
thinking-
already happening.
I'm not thinking about, we have to also, not only respect the past and, think about our present sport and our position in it, but as well kind of anticipate the future sports
For
of our
sure.
ocean.
Yeah.
And right now we see this huge rise in hydrofoil.
Yep.
And hydrofoil could very well be another category that falls under one of these umbrellas.
Oh, we're gonna have to have a sub talk. We're gonna have to have a sub
I hate
talk
to say it-
alone just
I hate
about
to say
this
about
alone.
this though. I hate to say it, but I believe the ICF is set more in place for a hydrofoil set of tours. And I'm not saying I'm a fan of the ICF.
You mean like surfing or pump racing or downwind
racing,
racing?
Whatever,
or-
down racing, pumping, it's
Yeah.
of course more so that stuff. Honestly, it's more accessible.
Yeah.
You're
saying
opening a whole new can of worms.
It
I mean,
is.
commercially, look, like we've seen in Germany, they had the Canoe Federation had that race going on, and it was broadcasted on the.
Is that the event in Charbois?
No, there was another one in Berlin, and it was broadcasted on the Facebook page of one of the major TV stations in Germany.
Wow.
And that Facebook page had about 100,000 views of
for
that.
a hydrofoil demonstration.
No,
No,
just
just
a
a
sprint,
race.
just a sprint race,
On the
an
IC,
SUP
yeah.
sprint race in Berlin.
Wow.
So and we see canoe clubs in Germany that are implementing their junior training because they're bringing up new blood into the Olympics, and they're going to bring in now SUP into this. So yes, there is a commercial and organized fabric and structure where you can put SUP into. But then again, there comes the surfer in me, you know. It's like that is, we can be all that is all great, but it's at the expense of the soul of surfing.
Yes.
Totally.
I mean, that's the beauty of our
That's like
sport.
snowboarding and skiing. I remember that, man. That was like the whole thing there.
Now that
back in the day.
Fernando and the ISA Association though has their roots in the Olympics, hopefully. Let's just hope that all goes well in Japan. And there's a big weight off Fernando's shoulders, and he doesn't feel this you know, maybe he'll feel depressurized enough to maybe even merge the events, you know, before he tries to introduce another sport to the Olympics. At least merge the ISA, but at the same time, in many ways we have to almost shame the ISA because they've treated us as if we're a part of a monopoly, and this is our only option, you know. And it's like it's not our only option anymore. Now there's the ICF trying to step up, and they have to, you know, show some sort of value to their athletes, whether they're stand-up paddlers, boogie boarders, or surfers, whether they're in the Olympics currently or not.
Yes.
I want to say one thing with this whole Olympic thing. I don't think we should put our hopes too high,
No.
and I'm sure you can ask your dad about this. I did an interview with Robbie Nash for my last magazine, and I asked him what actually the Olympics did to windsurfing.
Sour
and
taste.
Right out of the gate, he said nothing. Absolutely nothing. So why should SUP going to Olympic do more for the sport than it did for, say, windsurfing? And it remains to be seen what is it going to do to the surf sport.
So that's the thing, though. I feel like if we go through
that holy
this
grail
process with ICF, I think we're going to have that same sour taste. We're going to get put in lanes, one design.
Yes.
Next thing you know, ICF is going to just build wave pools, and they're going to have surfing in their wave pools. Yeah, and there we go. There goes the soul of the surfer. You know,
so I mean, like, let's see, how many minutes have we been talking here?
Yeah,
we've been going on 16 minutes. I hope anybody's still watching because it's always tough. But last
paddle ticks here.
Yeah, well, it's just paddle ticks. But we're gonna leave it at this 16 minutes, and I'm looking forward to many more SUP talks. And hopefully, when you guys are back from San Francisco and
Green
back
light.
from China, and I'll
Possibly
hopefully
El
have you.
Salvador.
And a little classic all happening in the same 2 weeks.
So hopefully we'll have we have more then, and we'll stay on it. And thank you for listening, and we'll be able to get this off of our chest. Thank you guys.
Aloha.
Thanks, Drucker.